They had a great big house way up on a bluff, just overlooking the Atlantic coast. She was a beautiful lady, and they had all these tents set up, and we had big clam bake and all that stuff. And it was a lot of fun, and that's where we got those Hazard green and t-shirts.
Yeah.
Remember?
Did you go?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No, Alicia was the only one that made that trip. And
So what industrial industry did Papa Hazard come from? Or what industrial business were they?
well,
Family was in?
in Syracuse, a lot of them came from Rhode Island, but they had a branch down in Syracuse, and it was a big chemical factory and everything, and what later became Dow Chemical, I think, after the family passed away and everything. But it was a big industrial complex in the city of Syracuse. And that's where my dad was born.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the original settlers of the Hazard tribe was in Rhode Island. And Narragansett and what's the other big
Providence.
place right on the coast? It was, boy, sometimes I have a hard time pulling up words. Newport, Rhode Island, where all the fancy places were, where people had their yachts and everything right on the coast there, and there was one place that they called Hazard Beach. And so that was a big hazard place back in history.
I had my therapist tell me, he went to Rhode Island every year. He said there was a Hazard statue.
That's Oliver Hazard Perry.
Yep.
Yeah.
His son did something too.
He was responsible for defeating the British Navy on Lake Erie back in the old days, and there's he is part of the Hazard history. His name was Oliver Hazard Perry, and there's a big statue of him somewhere up there in Rhode Island.
There's a painting of him in the White House.
Huh?
There's a painting of him in the White House.
Yeah, it's actually in the
Capitol building, maybe.
in the Senate Rotunda.
Oh.
When we were given a tour of that, in our many trips, we used to go back to Washington, D.C. for water meetings, and the ex-congressman from Pueblo was our liaison to all of the politicos there in Washington, D.C., and he had his old card from the oh damn it, I hate to forget words.
We all do.
In the House of Representatives, and his old card must have been 20 years old and it was all frayed on the edges. And he'd just show this to the guards in the White House and they'd let us in. And we took a tour one night, me and another couple from the water board. And the Senate was actually in session at that particular time at the House of Representatives. We went through all that stuff, and it was really, we just got a personal tour of the whole area of the White House. Mom and I went through the old White House tour, went back in the old days where they would take you on tours through all the various rooms in the White House, but we never had gotten over to the Capitol area when we were previously in there. We had a lot of fun doing that.
I don't think I've ever asked you this question, but what did Gibson Hazard the first? Oh no, that was your dad. What was your dad's dad? What did he do for a living?
Well, he didn't do a heck of a lot. He